wonder what happens when a passionate educator with a rocking soundtrack in her life decides to trade textbooks for tales? Today, we get to find out. Please join me in welcoming Mary Buchanan to the show. Mary spent 30 years inspiring young minds in Florida, and now she's captivating readers with her heartwarming Madison County Florida series. From the sweet romance, The Wildflowers of Madison County, to the festive cheer of What a Christmas Kerfuffle, Mary's novels weave unforgettable characters and small town charm into stories that leave you smiling. But Mary's journey doesn't stop there. Beyond the classroom and the page, she finds joy in capturing the world through photography. Let's settle in for a delightful conversation as we delve into Mary's creative process, the inspiration behind her captivating series, and the magic she brings to storytelling.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mary Buchanan. I'm a writer from Madison County, Florida. I grew up in Hamilton County, which is right next door, but I've lived most of my life here in Madison County. I went to Florida State, North Florida Community College, and then Florida State University, my favorite school. I call myself the sweetest Seminole in the South. I spent a lot of time in Jacksonville, Florida, and Tallahassee, but most of the thing I've done all my life is I was an educator. I taught English and musical theater and speech and debate at various high schools in the area. My dream goal as an educator was to be an assistant principal, and I never gave up. I had to go to several different places to finally get that challenge, that opportunity. When I went to Jacksonville, they saw that I had the skills, and I got to be an assistant principal there at First Coast High School. And I will tell you, it was the greatest experience of my life. I just loved being an assistant principal. Then I retired from education. I came home to Madison County, and my husband one day said, Mary, I don't understand why you don't write. You love it. Why don't you write? And I got to thinking about that, and my husband passed away. And right after that happened, COVID hit. And one day on CBS, a beautiful lady said, why don't you do something you've always wanted to do, but never had the opportunity because you're stuck at home? And her suggestion was to clean out the closets in your house. And I tell you, I don't want to clean out the closet. I thought about what my husband said, you know, about writing. So I locked myself in a little room, the foyer of our house, and I thought, I'll just go in here and write. And that's what I did. And I wrote my first book, The Wildflowers of Madison County. So my series is the Madison County series. And all of my stories are fictional characters. And I create all these situations in Madison County.
The last book was?
The last book was Love Notes, the story of Grace. I have a situation when I wrote the first book in the Madison County series. I had basically finished the book. And one day I was reading it orally because it had been recommended that you do that in one of the classes that I took. And all of a sudden, in my head, this college student drives up in her car. It's a well-worn, overused vehicle. And she announces who she is. She's Grace Jordan, and she's a college student. It completely changed my book. I don't know why she showed up, because she wasn't in the book, but it completely transformed the series. And that little young lady became probably everyone's favorite character. Everyone wanted to know what's going to happen to Grace. We want to know. And Grace is a student who grew up in an orphanage. She keeps writing love notes to her family, hoping someone will come and visit her at Christmas or come and see her. This is my third book, is her story. It's just just a beautiful book.
The next book will be?
The next book is Keep Your Promise.
Okay.
I will tell you, my husband loved dogs, and we always had a dog for a long time. And his dog stories, because, they're real people. All of our dogs are, they are definitely a member of our family. So in this fourth book, it's called Keep Your Promise. I have chosen to tell some of Bobby's dog stories in this book. So they are the comic relief. It's really about a couple and their best friend. They've been friends since the 11th grade. They grow up in Tallahassee. Two of them marry, and the other one's always a sidekick and everything. All become professional people, and the couple loses their child in a tragic accident. And this is how three people who love that little boy, how their lives change and how they learn to live without that child. And this is a story. They come to Madison to live in a medical facility that I created on the Withlacoochee River. They learn how to live with Alzheimer's and how they adjust to life without a child. And it's about keeping your promise. I hope to have it out in late August or early September.
Ask the question, are you traditionally published or self-published? And you are?
I am self-published for all my books.
Okay. And you have a service that you use or other people to create your book covers, and
that's getcovers.com. I have to give Tracy Roberts credit for my first books. But she no longer does it. She's got a new job, but Get Covers is wonderful to work with. And more importantly, they're out of Ukraine. So anything that you can do to help a company in Ukraine is a good thing, I think.
The three pieces of advice that you would give new authors wanting to get into the biz.
Well, first of all, don't give up. Second, I would get as much training as possible. I have to promote Lana Macker. I'm not sure I pronounced her last name correct, but she's a local. Now, she is in Suwannee County. She's a member of the Writers Inc. program. She's a fabulous coach of writing. And she has a course about writing the novel. I tell you, there are people taking these classes with her that have written 30 or 40 books. They are learning something new. I think that this fourth book, I believe it will be the best book I've ever written. And I have to give credit to Lana for that because of her teaching.
I've seen her on Facebook, and I attended one of her online free sessions that she gave.
There's another Michael Hay. I think it's Hague or Hague, Haugue, I believe. He's on Udemy. He has a course that if you get it on sale, it's $10.99 if you can get it on sale. It is a fabulous course for writing romance novels. I cannot tell you how great that course is. You have to pay a lot of money for it otherwise, but I know that it went on sale July 4th. And I sent it to all the people that I knew were, liked writing romance. He's great.
Okay. Another thing that I know that a lot of authors is writers groups, and you are a member of the Writers Inc.
Yes, I'm a member of Writers Inc. in Live Oak, the Suwannee County Writers Group, and then there's a Mayo Writers Inc. group. One of those groups, the Mayo group, has been in existence for 10 years at least. Johnny and Dolores, they have started this program, and it has grown now to about 25 people that are involved in it. And then Joan Radford, who recently passed away, a friend of mine who recently passed away, she wanted so much for there to be a Writers Inc. group in Suwannee County before she died.
Right.
And we had a class recently, an all-day novel writing class, and I sat there. There were like 12 people in that class, and I thought, Joan would love this, to see so many people sitting around, because she really pushed that we have a Writers Inc. group, and it was through her efforts. And she's no longer with us, but she did some great things while she was here, and I'm very happy to have known her.
But yes, Suwannee County needs its own writers group, dadgummit.
Yes, it did.
Do you have any opinion on using AI in your writing?
You have to be very careful with AI. I think people will abuse it. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast. But I know there's a company called Grammarly that helps you correct English, correct your editing, rephrase a sentence. I have found it has given me a lot of good ideas. I wrote something one time. I said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And I had all these ideas in, and it sent back. And I was very surprised what they sent back, what the program sent back. And it was in there all the time. I just didn't see it. I wrote it, but it picked it out of my writing. And I love that part of AI.
Oh,
Also, there's a program called Marlowe. And I use Marlowe at the end of every book before I publish. I run my manuscript through Marlowe. Marlowe compares your novel, it's a computer program, compares your novel to the top 100 novels like your book.
mm-hmm.
And it will compare the plot line. How close are you to that plot line? How, are you following the curve and that kind of thing? It also points out if you've used the word 25,000 times. It is an analysis of your work. You can pay monthly for it, or you can pay it by the book. I just pay a larger fee by the book. I think it's cheaper that way. But someone who is a prolific writer and writes 4 books a year, they probably would want to pay by the month. It is a great program. It's by Inkers Khan.
Have you ever used Pro Writing Aid?
No, I have not.
That's another program that focuses specifically on fiction writing. My top 100 author questions, I'm going to pick a couple just to
Okay.
spice things up here. Is there any particular genre that you would like to try to write in, but you would use a pen name in?
Not really. Now, I have always written romance because I love romance. This last book is a cozy mystery, and I discussed it with Lana about should I change my pen name? And she says, no, you need to leave as you are. So at this time, no. Well, first of all, I'm 75 years old. I don't have a lot of time. So I got to get all this love stories out of my head. So probably the answer to that would be no, I probably wouldn't write any other type. I don't really have it's something I do not know why, but I don't really have a desire to write my memoirs. I have some great stories. I thought about a book that I could write about my teaching days, about all my students, because I have some I've taught Huckleberry Finn and I've taught Tom Sawyer kids and, great athletes who've gone on to play pro football. I've been able to teach a lot of variety of children. I just don't think I would want to write anything else but romance and cozy mysteries right now.
Well, if you ever get into the social media, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, and all that, those stories would be very good to
Yes,
build up your
yes.
audience.
Well, here's the thing. See, I have this southern drawl,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
the more I talk, the more southern I get. I'm telling you. So I, pro- I probably that's why I haven't even attempted to do TikTok or any of those things, because some people don't like the southern drawl, and FSU tried to fix this and they gave up. They said, no, Mary, you're stuck with that for the rest of your life. So
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of us Southerners on TikTok, and we talk the way we talk, and that's just the way it is. I enjoy
okay.
listening to the lady from Louisiana. Sometimes I have
Uh,
to listen to her video a couple of times to understand what she's saying, but
yeah,
she's fun.
yeah.
The Georgia people, of course, they have their own
Oh
way
yeah.
of
Well,
talking.
I was born in Georgia. This is my line. This is my line. I was born in Georgia, lived there 3 days, and I've talked like this ever since. That's what my line is. When I introduce myself the first time to people, that's what I say.
Has writing and publishing a book changed the way you see yourself?
Definitely. Definitely. I'm surprised at some of the ideas that come out of my head, and I'm thinking, where did that come from? But here's an example. I don't know. I have an interest in street gangs and in some of these gangs of the 70s. I grew up in the 60s when gangs were prevalent. And now I'm enjoying watching all these documentaries, and I think, how do these people live, but they still have gangs. So I'm watching this, and all of a sudden this love story. came in my head. I grabbed a pen, started writing, and for 3 nights I worked on the synopsis of a future book. And I'm thinking days later, when I've got my sanity back, why? Why would that be of interest to me? But it's a beautiful story. And I shared it with my best friend going to lunch. And she says, "Oh my gosh, Mary, I love that story." I says, "Yeah, but why? Where did that come from?" I mean, just, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how I come up with these crazy ideas. I do know this: I am a happier person when I write. I guess there's just lots of ideas in my head. And so when I get them down on paper, I'm a happier person when I'm writing. I know that.
What do the words literary success mean to you, and how do you picture it?
Well, in my writing life, when someone says to me how much they loved my book, one of my classmates, I ran into his mother, and she says, "Mary, Jim just loves your books." And that just makes me feel so good because you don't know. I remember when my webmaster, when she pushed the button and said, "Well, Mary, you're now published," I cried. I just bawled. She says, "Why are you crying?" I said, "What if no one likes the book? You've just put your soul out on paper. And what if no one what if no one reads? They just say, "Mary, what were you thinking?" I just think, to me, for someone to say, "I love your books." There are two groups of sisters. I think they have four or five each in their family. And one of them said, "We've all read the books. We can't wait for the next one." And the other one said the very same thing. "We can't wait, Mary. We loved reading your books." It verifies a lot for me. And I'm just that's all I need. That's all I need.
Okay. So financial success for being a book writer is not something you're looking for right now.
It costs so much, especially that if you do not know what you're doing. That first book is such a learning situation. I spent a lot of money on the first book. I will never recoup what I spent on that book because I went to the wrong people. I kept going to the wrong people. I will never recoup that back, I don't think. I had no idea I should not spend that much money on the first book. I was just trying to get something done. Get it, get it out there. Money is not the issue. It's, does someone appreciate your thoughts?
Are you putting your books in ebook, paperback, and audio?
I will not do audio because of the cost. The cheapest I can find is $8,000. I know that is important because my readers are from 33 years old all the way to 92. Now, my 94-year-old passed away, and they need audio. And I feel my voice, someone says, "Do it yourself." I've taken several courses on how to really do an audiobook, but
Mhm.
I don't think I would survive the process of the editing that you have to do because I'm not a computer person. I just want to write. Just leave me alone and let me write. I would love to hand it over to someone after I get it done. You format it, you make all edits and put it up and let me write. If
Mhm.
I could just do that, I would do 4 books a year probably. It's the publishing part that gives me all the headaches because there's no creativity in that. It's a process.
It is
And
a process.
I am the creative one, not the process one.
The reason why I'm asking is AI is coming into play on that too. Google Play client in Lake City, we just converted her books over to audio using the digital narrator program, which is free, and
Mm-hmm.
they give you the files to upload to Find a Way Voices, and that'll get your audiobooks available within 48 hours at no cost to
Wow.
you. And they just started allowing you to use different voices. You can choose between 6 and 7 different people, male,
Oh,
female.
uh-huh.
Uh, but
And
you
that's
have
with
to,
Google Play?
that's with Google Play Books partners. You become a partner on Google Play, and they convert your ebook over to audio for you automatically. You can download the files in MP3 so you can use them in promotions. It's mostly just straight reading.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's not a lot of emotion. There's no southern accents. There's no,
I
um,
got you.
and chose the voices for the top four main characters in the book. So I just went in and highlighted their conversation in those four voices, and then she chose a narrator voice for everything else. So there's five different voices in the book. It took me, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to do it.
Now that I would be very interested in. But does Amazon allow that book?
No.
Okay.
So Google Play gives you the MP3s to sell. They sell the
Uh-huh.
audiobook on their site. And if you go to Find Away Voices, they send the audio files over to Spotify, which is
Oh,
a very big platform. They send it to Apple, and two others I think are accepting it. So that
okay.
gets you on the major platforms right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it might be something you want to consider.
Thank you for that information.
Takes a little time to get set up as a Google partner. You have to add your W-9s and checking account and
Mm,
all that fun stuff. But they give you
yeah.
links, and then on Find Away Voices, the good thing about them is they set up coupons so that you can do giveaways on your website and give a coupon for people to download the book for free and give you a review to get you some interest started. They send it. They have a contract with Overdrive, which is the library one, so you can get your
Uh-huh.
audio version into library. So, who has been your biggest supporter of your writing?
I would have to say my two sisters. It would be my husband if he were here.
Mm-hmm.
He would be so proud of me. I even say sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I say, Bobby, you'd be proud of me. I talk to his picture by my bed. My two sisters, I have to say, are they just want me to read. One of my sisters is critically ill right now. And she said, do not come and visit me if you haven't written today. That's the kind of attitude she has about my writing. I've sold a lot of books because of both of them. They're very active in the community. My one sister, her husband was in the military, so she knows a lot of people. They've been around all over the world. They'll call my sister Jackie and say, when is Mary's next book coming out? I'm ready for a book. Then my other sister is an educator, former educator like me, and she has taught in several different parts of the state. They're just constantly encouraging me, always encouraging me. But now here's the thing. They're a lot older than I. I'm going to say that in case they ever watch this. They have been like a second mother to me all my life because my parents started a second family with me since my parents have been gone. I'm like, really, I am the sister, but I am like the little child. One morning they got up and said, you will walk today. And they walked me all over the house, all over the farm. They made sure that I walked that day. They wanted me to be the first. I sang in church, I think when I was 3 years old. I sang a solo on the piano stool at church. They've kind of been my mentors all my life, but they have been very encouraging to me.
That's excellent. A lot of family members don't do that.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with your readers, possible future readers?
I'm sorry the teacher comes out in me. I don't care where I am. But to all those your children, grandchildren, they're very interested in writing and they have a dream of maybe going to write the great American novel, or they write poetry, or they want to tell the story of granddad. He was such an interesting character. I just want you to encourage the children or the young writer that they can do this. Let them know about all the programs online. All you have to do is type in, I want to be an author. I want to be a writer. There's so many programs that are free out there. The main thing I say to any person, if you want to write your memoirs, you better start go to Dollar General and buy about 20 little notebooks and put not to 2024. This is what I did in 2024. Because when you get 75 years old, you don't remember when you were in elementary school. You do not remember everything in high school. And there were some beautiful experiences that you want to share with people. And now you cannot remember. When my classmates get together, one person will remember one thing, and somebody say, I don't remember that at all. And then I won't remember some of the things that they did. You just lose your mind when you get old. So I would encourage you, especially if you want to write your memoirs, you need to keep a daily journal, a weekly journal, a yearly journal of all the great things that you experience in life. Because when you decide to write your memoirs for the grandchildren, you don't want to really write them for somebody else, but you want your grandchildren to know the great stories of your life and of your parents' life and the funny stories your grandfather told. Those journals will be a life send to you. That's what I recommend to all people who are thinking about, I want to write one day. That will be a great value to you. And I have to say, the greatest thing about writing is your friendship circle changes. I just can't get over the people that I have become like sisters and brothers to, who are creative people who love to write. And every time you get together, there's so much noise because you're all talking. You're so excited about life. And they make a huge difference in your spiritual life as well. So, a happy writing is all I can say. Hope we can meet again. Happy writing.
Well, thank you so much. You did excellent, of course.
Well,
And
thank
you have a
you.
website, right?
Yes, Mary Buchanan author.
Okay.
Dot com, marybuchananauthor.com. I have a Facebook account, but I just don't have time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. We want to thank Miss Mary Buchanan of Madison County, Florida, for joining us and being so patient with our recording process. This is the first time I met Miss Buchanan, and we started the interview before I hit the record button, so we had to start over, which was kind of fun and a little exasperating, but she was very patient with me. So, if you would like to be a guest, we would love to have you. If you're in the book business, whether you're in Florida or anywhere else, we would be glad to set up a Zoom session. Check out Southern Dragon Publishing for more. And until next time, keep reading and keep writing.